Hello everybody! Today I'll be showing you how to make a virtual machine. A virtual machine is basically a guest operating system running on top of a actual operating system that is installed on physical hardware. And the virtual machine would perform the way it would if the OS would be installed on physical hardware. So without any further ado, let's get started. So to do so, you'd want to go onto virtualbox.org. So for the purpose of this tutorial, we'll be using the free and open source hypervisor VirtualBox. A hypervisor is a software that can run a virtual machine. But anyways, go here, virtualbox.org/wiki/downloads. And if you have a Windows machine, select that. Mac, then select this. Or if you have Linux, you can go here. But instead of going here for Linux, just pop up a terminal window and type in sudo apt-get install virtualbox-y, or if you're an Arch Linux, you'd want to use the pacman installer. So once you have it installed, go ahead and open up VirtualBox. It's usually shortened down to VBox. So once you've opened it, you'll be greeted with a similar menu. I just have many virtual machines already running, but I want to create a new virtual machine. So before you create a virtual machine, you'd want to install the ISO file of the operating system you want to get. So for the purpose of this tutorial, I've selected the Ubuntu GNOME 16.04 ISO file, which I got from ubuntugnome.org. In fact, that's a older operating system now. I think it was from 2016, and this is 2022. But anyway, so you want to type in the name Ubuntu GNOME, or whatever operating system you're using. It already recognized that it's a Linux, and it already recognized that it is Ubuntu 64-bit. If you're using the 32-bit one, then go ahead and select that. Okay. Next would be next, and now you have to select the memory size. Okay, so the memory would basically be the memory the virtual machine has access to. So basically, it's showing here my green zone, my safe zone of RAM, then is like this orangish zone, and then a red zone. You don't want to just try to avoid staying in here, as it will tax up your computer a bit too much. So stay inside the green area. My computer has 28 gigabytes of RAM, so it's saying that I can go up to 20 gigabytes, but for Ubuntu GNOME, you don't need that much, and I'm not going to do any work on it, so I can just go with a modest 4. Most computers these days come with 8 gigabytes of RAM. In that case, I would suggest going with 4 or 5 gigabytes of RAM for the virtual machine. But anyway, let me type in the 4096 and click next. Next is for the hard disk. So you'd want to create a virtual hard disk now. So press create. Just for now, I'll just select the VirtualBox disk image. Next. Now here comes this part, dynamically allocated or fixed size. So basically, they're saying a fixed size would take longer and longer to create on some systems, but is faster to use. But a dynamically allocated one would basically only take up the amount the OS needs. So say you specify 40 gigabytes, 40 would be the max, but it would only take up, say, after installation, only 10 gigabytes of the computer space. Fixed size, say you do 40, it would take up 40 right off the bat, even before you install anything. So for now, let's just select dynamically allocated. I mean, dynamically allocated is good enough for most purposes, like say you're running a virtual server, that would be perfect. For this tutorial, let's just do 32 gigabytes, very common configuration for cheap laptops. Create. There we go, we are pretty much ready. Now you'd want to go into settings, go into storage, and select select this icon, select this, and then choose a disk file and get your ISO file. So there we go. Now another thing to point out is in the network settings, currently it's attached to NAT. That stands for Network Address Translation. So in this configuration, basically, the virtual machine would have its own little network on your computer. There are a few other options. Is the NAT network. So the NAT network would basically create a network on your computer of multiple virtual machines. And another important one to know is the bridged adapter. For now, I'll be using that one because it will connect to your home network that your host machine or your physical machine is on. Now, here you'd want to select your appropriate adapter. Mine is wireless, so I'll select this one. Okay. Next would be to select the Start button, and Ubuntu GNOME will boot up in a few seconds now. I will pause the video for now and come back when it gets to the restart phase, and I'll show you what to do next. Okay, so Ubuntu GNOME has installed, and now it's saying that we have to restart our computer. So if you want to see the full steps on how to install Ubuntu GNOME, or for that matter any other Linux distro, please check out my video on that. But anyways, you'd want to press restart now, and it's going to do its thing. Now it's going to say please remove the installation medium and press enter. What you're going to do is go into machine, settings, storage, and click on here and make sure that it says empty. Make sure nothing is connected. Ubuntu GNOME took it out for us, but other operating systems are not, and then you will sort of boot back up into the installation interface. So just make sure that is taken out. But anyways, Ubuntu GNOME is now opening up. So I'll just show you how to change the resolution on here, because it's going to get annoying working on a VGA sized screen. Okay, so once Ubuntu starts up, just go into activities and go into settings. This is pretty similar for other Linux distros. Just go into settings and find your display settings. Select the display, change the resolution. So I like to work for my monitor. This one is pretty good. So apply. Now I have to scroll down, but that's fine. I will instead put it in full screen mode, and voila, there we have it. And this is how you install a virtual machine. And please don't forget to like this video, share this video, and also please subscribe to my channel, as there's a lot more stuff coming up. Thank you, and see you next time.